Good morning, everybody. I would like to talk about the triangulation or geodetic surveying. What is geodetic surveying? Object of geodetic surveying. The object of geodetic surveying is to determine very precisely the relative or absolute positions of points on the Earth's surface of a system of widely separated points. The relative positions are determined in terms of latitude, longitude, and elevation above mean sea level. The difference between geodetic and plane surveying depends on the extent of the area rather than the operations. In geodetic surveying, the sphericity of the earth is taken while making the computations. In India, geodetic surveying is done by Survey of India Department. What is triangulation? Triangulation is defined as a system of multiplying ground controls on the Earth's surface. In triangulation, the system consists of a number of interconnected triangles in which the length of one line called baseline and the angles of the triangle are measured very precisely. Knowing the length of one side and three angles, the lengths of the other two sides of the triangle can be computed. The apexes of the triangles are known as triangulation stations, and the whole figure is called as triangulation system or triangulation figure. The main advantage of triangulation is the accumulation of error in lengths and directions of lines or both, since the length and azimuth of preceding line. The fixation of framework for survey is called as horizontal control. Then objects of geodetic triangulation. The objects of triangulation are to provide the most accurate system of horizontal control points on which the less precise triangles may be based, which in turn may form a framework to which other surveys may be referred. To establish accurate control for plane and geodetic surveys of large areas by terrestrial methods. To establish accurate control of photogrammetric surveys of large areas, to assist in the determination of the size and shape of the earth by making observations for latitude, longitude, and gravity. To determine the accurate locations of points in engineering work such as fixing the central line and abutments of long bridges over large rivers. The objects of triangulation are fixing the central line, terminal points, and shafts for long tunnels, transferring the control points across wide sea channels, larger water bodies. Then what is the arrangement of triangulation system? The triangulation system consists of a number of interconnected triangles in which the length of one line called the baseline and the angles of the triangles are measured very precisely. Knowing the length of one side and the three angles, the lengths of the other two sides of the triangle can be computed. Classification of triangulation system. The basis for the classification of triangulation figure is the accuracy with which the length and bearing of or azimuth of a line of the triangulation are measured. Triangulation of different accuracies depend on the extent and purpose of the survey. How the classification of triangulation system is done? It is done in three ways. Number one, first order or primary triangulation, second order or secondary triangulation, third or tertiary triangulation. First order or primary triangulation. The first order triangulation is the highest order and is employed either to determine the Earth's figure or to furnish the most precise control points to which secondary triangulation may be connected. This covers large areas and usually the whole of the country. Greatest care to be taken while making linear and angular observations. What are the general specifications of primary triangulation? Following are the general specifications of primary triangulation. The average of number one, the average triangular closure should be less than 1 second. Maximum triangular closure not more than 3 seconds. Length of the baselines 5 to 15 kilometers. Lengths of the sides of the triangles 30 to 160 kilometers. Actual error of the base 1 in 3 lakh. Probable error of the base 1 in 1 followed by 6 zeros. Discrepancy between two measures of a section should be 10 mm under the square root kilometers. Probable error of computed distance should be 1 in 60,000 to 1 in 2,50,000. Probable error in astronomic azimuth should be less than 5 seconds. Second order or secondary triangulation. The secondary triangulation consists of a number of points fixed within the framework of primary triangulation. The stations are fixed at close intervals so that the sizes of the triangles so formed are smaller than primary triangulation. So following are the specifications of secondary triangulation. Average triangle of error of closure less than 3 seconds. Maximum triangle closure is 8 seconds. Length of the baselines 1.5 to 5 kilometer. Length of the sides of the triangles 8 to 65 kilometers. Actual error of the base 1 in 1,50,000. Probable error of the base 1 in 5 lakh. Discrepancy between the two measures of a section is 20 mm under the square root of kilometers. Probable error of computed distance 1 in 20,000 to 1 in 50,000. Probable error in the astronomic azimuth should be 2 seconds. Third order or tertiary triangulation system. The third order of triangulation consists of a number of points fixed within the framework of secondary triangulation and forms the immediate control for detailed engineering and other surveys. The sizes of the triangles are small and less precise instruments can be used. The specifications for a third triangulation are as follows. Average triangle of closure 6 seconds. Maximum triangle closure 12 seconds. Length of the baselines is 0.5 to 3 kilometers. Length of sides of the triangles 1.5 to 10 kilometers. Actual error of the base 1 in 75,000. Probable error of the base 1 in 2,50,000. Discrepancy between two measures of a section 25 mm to square root of kilometers. Probable error of computed distance is 1 in 5,000 to 1 in 20,000. Probable error in astronomic azimuth is 5 seconds. Triangulation figures or systems. A triangulation figure is a group of or system of triangles such that any figure has one side and only one common to each of the preceding and following figures. The common figures or systems are single chain of triangles, double chain of triangles, central point figures. Single chain of triangles, as the sketch shows, is a chain of only one set of triangles. This figure is used where narrow strip of terrain is to be covered. Though the system is rapid and economical, it is not accurate for primary work since the number of conditions to be fulfilled in the figure adjustment is very small. It is not possible to carry the solutions of triangles through the figures by two independent routes. If the accumulation of errors is not become excessive, baselines must be introduced frequently. This figure shows the double chain of triangles. This arrangement is used for covering the large area width of belt. This system also has the disadvantages of single chain of triangles. Centered figures. Centered figures are used to cover the area and to give satisfactory results in the flat country. The centered figures may be quadrilaterals, pentagons, hexagons with central stations. This system provides the desired checks on the computations. The progress of the work is slow due to more settings of the instrument. So this is about the centered figure. Criteria for the selection of triangulation. The following factors should be considered while selecting a particular triangulation figure. The figure should be such that the computations can be done through two independent routes. The figure should be such that at least one and preferably both the routes should be well conditioned. All the lines in the figure should be of comparable length. Very long lines should be avoided. The figure should be such that the least work may secure maximum progress. So this is the comparison of the orders of triangulation. Selection of triangulation stations, it is very much important. The selection of triangulation stations is based upon the following considerations. The triangulation station should be intervisible. For this purpose, They should be placed upon the most elevated ground, such as tops of hills, etc., so that long sights through undisturbed atmosphere may be secured. They should form well-shaped triangles. As far as possible, the triangle should be either isosceles with base angles of about 56 degrees or equilateral. In general, however, no angle should be smaller than 30 degrees or greater than 120 degrees. The station should be easily accessible and should be such that the supplies of food and water are easily available, and camping ground or nearest suitable accommodation is available. Since the accuracy in the measurement of the baseline depends upon the site conditions, the following points should be taken into consideration while selecting the baseline. The site should be fairly level. If, however, the ground is sloping, the slope should be uniform and gentle. Undulating ground should be avoided if possible. The site should be free from obstructions throughout the whole length. The line clearing should be cheap in both labor and compensation. The ends of the baseline should be intervisible at ground level. The ground should be reasonably firm and smooth. Water gaps should be few and, if possible, not wider than the length of the tape. The site should suit extension to primary triangulation. This is an important factor since the error in extension is likely to exceed the error in the measurement. About the baseline measurement, the measurement of baseline forms the most important part of the triangulation operations. The baseline is laid down with greater accuracy of measurement alignment as it forms the basis for the computations of triangulation system. The length of the baseline depends upon the grades of triangulation. Selection of site for the baseline. The measurement of baseline forms the most important part of triangulation operations. The baseline laid down with great accuracy of measurement and aligned as it forms the basis for the computations of triangulation system. The length of the baseline depends upon the grades of the triangulation. A tower, signals and towers. A tower is a structure erected over a station for the support of the instrument and observing party and is provided when the station or the signal or both are to be elevated. So in the sketch, you can see a tower. So this tower should have two independent bodies. There is the outer body and there is the inner body. The outer body supports the persons and the signal, whereas the central portion will support the instrument. Tower. The amount of elevation depends on the character of for the terrain and length of the site desired. The triangulation tower must be built in, duplicate, rigidly founded and braced and guide. The inner tower supports the instrument only and the outer supports the observer and the signal. The two towers should be entirely independent to each other. Towers may be of masonry, timber or steel. For small heights, masonry structures are more suitable, but otherwise they are uneconomical. Timber scaffolds are most commonly used and have been constructed over 50 meters. Steel towers made of light sections are very portable and can be easily erected and dismantled. J.S. Bilby of United States evolved such a portable type of tower as shown above, made of steel sections and rods which can be assembled and dismantled very easily. Bilby Tower can raise the observer and the lamp to a height of 30 meter or even 40 meter with a beacon 3 meter higher. 5 men can erect the tower weighing 3 tons in 5 hours. So this is the actual photograph of a Bilby Tower. Requirements of a signal. This is very much important. A signal should fulfill the following requirements. It should be clearly visible against any background. It should be capable of being accurately centered over the station mark. It should be suitable for accurate bisection. Non-luminous or opaque signals. For sites under 6 kilometers, pole signals consisting of a flag figure A below. A round pole painted black and white in alternate section and supported on a tripod may be used. A target signal, which is shown in figure B, consists of a pole carrying 2 square or rectangular targets placed at right angles to each other. Daylight or non-luminous signals consist of the various forms of mast and are generally used for direct sites less than 30 kilometers. So these are the sketches of the non-luminous signals. Marking of triangulation. stations. Object of station marks. The object of station mark is to provide a surface mark with a permanent mark buried below and a good target on which the observer accurately centered over it. The station marks also include a complete description to enable the station to be recovered even after many years. The stations must be elevated above the ground. The rigid support is required for the instrument and signal. Sometimes the existing star structures are used so that the cost of construction of the tower is minimized. A tower is erected on such structures. The station marks are bronze or copper markers cemented into the rock or cement concrete in the form of a pedestal. It serves two purposes. It ensures the signal over the station marks is central when placed and to hold the instrument in a central position while making observations. An underground mark immediately below the reference station mark is established. Since the surface mark may get disturbed as it is in the earth, the mark may be a frustum of a cone or a pyramid. Stations are permanently marked so that they can be identified in future. When the area is rocky, a hole of about 7.5 centimeter to 15 centimeter deep is drilled in the rock and a copper or iron bolt is fixed with cement concrete. When the area is earth, which can be excavated, two marks are used, one buried and the other on the surface. A stone with a small hole is fitted with a brass screw, is buried to a depth of 75 centimeter and is embedded in cement mortar. It is covered with earth and a similar marked stone is placed with its top surface level with the ground. A brush is erected at the station and a mound of stone is erected around the brush. This arrangement is called as a cairn. The buried mark is not referred to until it appears that the surface mark has been disturbed. A full description of each of the station is prepared with its number, locality, etc. So this is the sketch of a station mark. Here, this is the cement concrete in which a copper bolt is embedded, and this is about 75 centimeters. And for other 75 centimeters, a stone slab is placed. Above that, exactly over this, a metal pipe is inserted, so that though this pipe is disturbed, later on, this mark can be referred to. And like this, a stone cairn is also used. Here, the station mark is surrounded by a pile of stones and a signal is erected on that. This is called as a stone cairn.